Was born April 22, 1924. He was born in Mill Creek Township and lived close to the Lancaster County line. He was the son of Amanda and Eamon Noll, and they lived on a farm. Growing up around farms, you think Mr. Noll would continue his life as a farmer. However, it seems that his future was much more than working on a farm. Siblings were Leon, who was the oldest, and then Harold, who was the youngest. Melvin himself has 3 children. Maxine is the oldest daughter, his middle son is Michael, and his youngest daughter is Michelle. Mr. Noll is now living on his own in Lebanon County. Mr. Noll graduated from high school. After graduating, he went on tour through the depot at Middletown, and that's what got him started in thinking about the Air Force. In the interview,
Oh, I didn't really have any plans. Like I say, we didn't think of things like that, I guess, when we were.
So with no set job in mind, he had taken a test for the Air Force and was asked to go to the farm show building so that he could start aviation. Shortly after, Mr. Noll was drafted into the Army Air Corps. At the time, he was part of the Army Air Force since the Air Force did not exist on its own. He really seemed to enjoy working with planes and being part of the military. This was just the beginning for this young soldier. Mr. Noll had started his career with the usual basic training. His training took place in Miami Beach, Florida. However, he didn't exactly remember his instructors, as he stated.
Well, I don't really remember too much. That was, like I say, how many years ago, and I don't.
Going further into basic airplane and engine mechanics, though, he had got specialized training in Gulfport, Mississippi. After this, it was time for his military life to begin. Coming into the military life, he experienced few difficulties, and he realized you fall in and you fall out, but you get used to it. From here on in, Mr. Noll's career was a learning experience. Friends came and went because they were constantly moving around. He stated,
Well, the thing is, when we moved around like that, we had different people, you know. You didn't really get to know the friends really well because you were going one school and you'd go to another one and there were different people.
Mr. Noll had also got the chance to work on many different warplanes, anything from B-29s to a C-45 and some P-61s and so on. It was a fairly easy and interesting job. Mr. Noll seemed to enjoy it, as he said.
All we did was say, yeah, it's okay to go. It would fly. And I never had any complaints.
He even considered himself very lucky to have a job where no fighting or casualties had to happen. This made him feel like he wasn't necessarily part of the war, but his behind-the-battlefield work really did help shape the war. There were several uniforms that this type of veteran wore or used. They had their greenish-tan jumpsuits for testing the flights. Each had an Army Air Force emblem on their left sleeve. There were also their brown, more formal uniforms that had patches and pins. These represented ranks and different jobs accomplished along their time of service. They served as an easy way to tell a veteran's rank, position, or even past accomplishments. Over the years, communication with his family was little. Mr. Noll told us that one time he got called to the chaplain, and when he got there, he found out his mother wrote a complaint letter that Mr. Noll wasn't writing to her enough. When we asked Mr. Noll about how he kept in touch with his family and friends, he stated,
I used to write letters, and I didn't write often enough. One day, the chaplain called me. I'm supposed to come over. He was to talk to me. My mother wrote a letter to the chaplain because she wasn't getting enough letters. So primarily, it was just writing letters.
He even made about one phone call home a year. Years later, though, the war ended and Mr. Noll patiently waited to be sent home. He got a train ticket home, and then his family had met him at the train station to welcome him home.
I don't remember much about it. It wasn't a big thing,
replied Melvin when I asked how he had been welcomed home. But home was where he wanted to be. He was definitely ready to be home and stay. Today, Melvin is part of many veteran organizations, and he has been in contact with a few friends that he made during his time of serving.